warm in here. We could turn the heat up for you if you want. We could turn the heat up for you if you want it.
No, this is fine.
This room has got heat.
Blackburn Township reorganization and regular meeting January 7th, 2014. Talking, let's see if it's recording.
I haven't been sick in 4 years. I don't remember who it was. I gave it to you because I figured you were going to give it to them.
All right, I'll call this meeting to order at 7 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Express Times and Star Gazette, satisfying the Open Public Meeting Act. If we could please stand for a silent prayer and then flag salute.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Just as a quick announcement, Sal Vangeli's seat is being extended till 12/13/2014, which, just as a housekeeping note, is we are still pushing the terms back from moving the election from May 2011 was our last one. So the seats, Sal and I are the last two that would be part of that. So next year I'll have my term extended and Sal's is extended this year. So Sal will run for election in November. So moving forward, we will go on to swear in our re-elected council people, Dave Slack and Mary Van Loo. So go with Dave first.
Dave? Okay, here's yours to read.
Come on up, Pop. Yeah, come on up here. We'll do it up here. Make sure you get. Yeah, you're right. You stand where here? We're exactly behind you. Come on, Pop. Hurry up. Hurry up. What's the name?
What's the hurry, Dave? You can still turn back.
Which hand's which now, man?
Is your left hand on the Bible? Is that right?
All right, Dave, you're going to repeat after me. I, David Slack,
I, David Slack,
do solemnly swear
do
or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state
under the
authority of the people,
authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially and justly perform all the duties of the office of councilman
and justly perform all the duties of the office of councilman
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
It's John.
Yeah, because we were on council before.
I thought that.
In fact, I have his department.
Come full circle.
Yes. it
All
does.
right. Ready? Do this again there? Okay. I, Mary Van Loo,
I, Mary Van Loo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I do further solemnly swear
I do further solemnly swear
that I will impartially and justly
that I will impartially and justly
perform all the duties of the office of councilwoman
perform all the duties of the office of councilwoman
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right.
Yes,
Yeah, you
please.
guys just sign them and then it's all official then. All right, moving on. We need council to elect a council president to serve in my place when I am absent. Do I have a motion for someone to serve as council president?
I'd like to make a motion that we have Mary Van Loo serve as council president in your absence, Mayor.
All right, do I have a second for that motion?
Second.
Okay, Becker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Van Loo?
Shall I abstain? I will abstain.
If you want to. Vangelli?
Yes.
And Kern?
Yes. All right, department heads. I thought last year worked out very well, so everyone's going to remain the same. So if there's any objection to that, but I think everyone did an excellent job with their respective departments, and I don't think you fixed something that isn't broken. So
I agree.
that's what we'll continue with. So Frank Becker will be Director of Administration and Finance. Mary Van Loo, Director of Public Safety. Sal Vangelli will be Director of Public Welfare, Health, and Recreation. And David Slack will be Director of Public Works.
Is it law and public safety?
It's semantic. I'm not sure what it technically is. It might be
Because of
the court, yeah. That might be correct. All right, moving on through resolutions. Does anyone mind not taking these all together?
I've got a question on the first one.
Yes.
Are the fees all the same?
Yeah, every price is identical to last year's.
Very good.
Any other questions, concerns about resolutions?
The only other comment I had was the designating depositories. We have about 6 of them. I don't know if we're using them all or not. Have you seen this? PNC Bank, United New Jersey Cash Management Fund, United Trust, Bank of America. I guess it doesn't hurt to have more than you're using, so I guess I'll go with that.
I was going to say United Trust actually merged.
Right.
But we should take United Trust off. Okay.
And then there's Wells Fargo and Berkeley Federal Bank and Trust.
All right, so do we want to make an amendment then to that to remove United Trust? Okay.
Okay, and then just, Mayor, please, maybe note for the council and governing body that the next meeting in January is not going to be a Tuesday, the 21st. It'll be a Thursday, the 23rd.
Yes, that's correct.
Just to roll the first and third, but we won't have a quorum that day, so we're going to go Thursday.
Here we go. All right. Anything else with the resolutions? A motion to take them all? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, Becker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Van Loo? Yes. Vangelli?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes. Okay, appointments. I'm not going to read through all of them unless you would like me to, but the only thing I would say is that we have created the Economic Development Advisory Commission, so you'll see that on here for the first time. Other than that, we've had some rotation with some different commissions and land use, but other than that, we're staying the same as far as the boards. So a few different names. For example, we'll have a school board member on the land use board for the first time in, probably 10 years. So that's a benefit.
Mayor, we ought to make sure we advertise the 2 vacant positions that,
Yeah.
we want somebody to come forward. I see one on the Economic Development Commission and then one on our Environmental Commission. So if we can make sure they stay advertised and see if we can get somebody to come
Absolutely.
forward.
The environmental one is an alternate, though, too.
Right, but at points we do need,
Yeah. And then also, I will be adding as an appointment to Eric Person will serve as the land use class 1 alternate for myself when I cannot attend or vote on matters. So that'll be on there too. So we have to take motions for some of these, Wanda, so we'll just take a collective motion on all of them.
I just had a comment on Tyler Emmerich. It looks like he's got a unexpired 3-year term, 2015, and the Environmental Commission, 2016, which is fine with me if it's fine with him, or he might prefer to have them.
That's the way they run.
They run?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
actually,
it could be the vacant one. You could switch the vacant.
To an alternate?
Yeah, I mean, the 2000,
He's sitting on land use for the environmental commission,
right.
so he can't be an alternate.
Oh, okay.
and the terms would run concurrently normally, but Tyler will be taking Dr. Hernandez's spot on the land use board that he vacated. So that's why there's a
why there's
difference
a
off.
year difference here, yeah, right.
Oh, okay. So,
Is there a motion?
I'll move the appointments.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Pepper,
yes.
Black,
Yes.
Van Loo. Yes. Van Jelly.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Public comments pertaining to agenda items. Is there any public comment pertaining to any agenda items? Seeing none, we will move on to motion to pay the bills. Presented by in the proper form, signed by the director of each department, and approved by a majority of the members listed on the bill list.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it if everybody's done.
Okay, Becker,
Yes.
Black,
Yes.
Van Loo. Yes. Van Jelly.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes. Okay, the attorney is not here yet, so we will move into council reports with Frank.
Really not much to report. I mean, we got most of the budget submissions are in. Missing any?
Just a couple of
Okay. And the big thing going on now is the financing of the tax agreement with the Phillipsburg Mall, which we'll discuss further. I want to hear what Kevin has to say about the logistics of it when he gets in. And that's and there was a nice article in the paper about the Hicks and Mixel house, the application for the historic siting of the Hicks and Mixel house, which looks like it's going forward well. And I spoke to the owner of that house, and she's quite happy about it. Quite happy about our support of it.
Yeah, I thought that was an excellent article. It was a nice piece, so. And thank you again for going down to Trenton and, speaking on their behalf.
Quite welcome. Good.
Dave?
DPW report from December 17th to the January 7th. They salted and plowed roadways, parking lots, sidewalks during the ice and snowstorms on the 18th, 24th, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th. They plowed back the snow drifts on Winters Road, Overly Cemetery, Delaware Heights, and Carpentersville. They did some snow plow maintenance, replaced some blades, shoes, curb pieces on several of the trucks. They washed all the equipment up after every storm. And they also assisted in a rabies clinic at the DPW garage. We didn't get any complaints to mount anything through the storms. The guys did a good job. We lost one of the trucks during one of the first storms. It was down a couple days. Opdike's got it repaired fairly timely and back working again. That's about it for the DPW. Environmental Commission, last meeting, we spent a good bit of time working on the invasive weed ordinance that we'd like to try to get drafted. We looked at several ordinances from other towns. We actually are going to contemplate having an expert come in and give some testimony on these invasive weeds and how we should approach trying to keep them under wraps from spreading throughout the township. We turned in our budget. It was very modest. Stayed within your suggested 5%, 10% reduction. Other than that, that was about all. The Environmental Commission. If I recall, the last land use was canceled, correct, Mayor?
November was our last
Right.
meeting,
We didn't
so
have anything.
well, next week, I
Like,
believe.
we have one upcoming, and I know we have a pretty full schedule.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long meeting. Other than that, that's about all I have, Mayor.
Great, thank you. And just to echo Dave's point with the DPW, I probably only got 2 complaints out of the whole storm. So on a grand scale, that's pretty good as far as I'm concerned. Usually the phone's ringing like crazy. And the 2 problems were resolved instantly. So thank you. That was excellent work by the DPW during that storm.
How are we fixed for salt, Jeff? We all right for now?
It's slow coming in. Put your order in,
Very good, thank you.
All right. I guess we can go into the attorney report while we're working our way down.
At the start of the year, we're in pretty good shape, Mayor. There was steps for the tax appeal filed. The court contacted me and asked for a written letter just confirming that also met the basis of our county. So that's in the works. I have a meeting tomorrow, and any 2 of the 5 of the council can attend if they'd like with SSP or architectural consultant for the building. They've dug further into various issues here. So that's at 1:30 at my office tomorrow. And I think we sent an email out on that. Other than that, hopefully we're going to keep things quieter and as efficient as possible.
Great.
Yeah.
With that tax appeal, with this ordinance, I know we spoke about it once before, but I just want to verify. We have one of the items on our agenda is an ordinance for the refunding bond ordinance for the tax appeal. And we had that other ordinance about the $400,000 cap, unless it's emergency. If we need to be emergency, I think we can do that because
Yes.
but I guess my question is, do we need to declare an emergency with that, or do we have to?
With ordinance 1402,
Right.
the refunding bond ordinance. No, we specifically carried it over into this year. We don't have to do an emergency. You only have to do emergencies if it's something you get partway, your budget's already done, it's not in your budget, and you have to do a quote emergency because it's not in your budget. This is okay this year, and this we already have part of the cash payment portion we already have set aside. That's waiting, so we just need to have.
I'm just thinking specifically about when we way back. Well, I wasn't even on council then when they put that $400,000 cap on the amount that we can raise through bonding. Without going to referendum or having it be considered an emergency.
Yeah, I think there was a supermajority provision in that ordinance too. So I think 4 out of 5 could override it. So if this was unanimous, it doesn't matter.
Okay, that's a good point. So
Yeah. So
so we'll probably get to that point.
Yeah, if we get to that, and this is if you have at least 4 votes for that ordinance, it will be fine.
Okay, I didn't remember the supermajority.
I think financial issues, I think we excluded as well. So I would have to double check, but I think on either category you'd be okay there.
Just a follow-up point to that. The bond attorney, John Drakowitz, did say that we were exempted from that $400,000 ordinance for debt issuance for refunding bonds. This would act as a refunding.
Right.
So
Exempt
yeah.
from
Okay.
Yeah, I know we did incorporate certain things like that as it being exclusive because you really can't put those in the ordinance like that. So,
Okay.
well,
Thank you both.
Those are good questions, though, to clarify.
Again, as far as I know, I haven't talked to John yet in the new year, but we're on schedule down at local finance board to get approval for this. And we should be in pretty good shape for February.
Are we going to be required to go before that board, or at this point, or is it a consent agenda?
Maybe just Bill Schroeder. I don't know if you know.
Bill hasn't heard yet. Once they set their agenda or docket, whatever they refer to it as, it may just be in what he called a consent agenda. We may be in such a good situation that the local finance board could just say, no, you guys are great, go with the 7 years. If anyone has to go, it would be Bill, unless anybody would like to go just to watch and have an education of the local.
I've gone before once. It's
I did
interesting.
coordinate.
Yeah.
I have coordinated with Bill. He needed information like all of our other existing tax appeals, lot and blots, amounts and issue. I've given him all that information. I also coordinated with him and our assessor to get the tax rates and all that thing. So I think we're in pretty good shape in that regard. So that should go through.
All right, great. You have anything else, Kevin?
Nothing that I didn't cover in memos with you guys already.
I do think, though, thinking out loud, we will need a half-hour executive session tonight while we're all here, if that works for everyone. Just as a clarify with Kevin's to kind of get my mind going with some things. So. It'll be quick. All right, Mary.
I have a question for the chief. This service, this agreement, I know what it is, but Kevin, did you seen it at all?
No, actually, that copy's for Kevin.
Yeah, that's supposed to. I think that's supposed to be. For,
I thought it was given to me.
He gave it to you. I think he thought it was a copy that I gave to him.
Oh, all right.
So, yeah, that's
This is
Kirk.
the agreement that we would like to enter into for, which we're not going to vote on tonight, but it's to help the police department and the court system with people paying their fines or bail. Like in the middle of the night, if someone needs to do bail, they'll be able to do it now, rather than just release them on their own cognizance. And anyway, so yeah, this will be much better. So that's what that is. But we need to
Chief, is this company part of like the state contract or just one of those?
At this point, I don't know.
You want me to scan? Does everybody have this? I'll scan it and email it.
Yeah, he came.
Yeah, he came in and gave us spoke to us, but there was, there were some questions that we had, and we're pretty much, we would be the first one in New Jersey to go with this particular.
So I was trying to get some
Okay.
it's not new ground for us.
perks
It's
from it.
certain things.
Because
And the police
yeah.
department.
But yeah, we had the court sitting on this, and we had the chief and we had another officer.
Okay.
And I was there.
I will start looking at that with them and touch with the chief. The one question I have is how procedurally we would enter the contract. I don't know. It'd be difficult issue to bid, I would think. So I would think this might fall under the extraordinary unspecifiable services category of exceptions to the local public bid statutes. So it's not a professional service, but it kind of seems to fit in our code. So we'll talk about that.
Okay.
So we can get that going.
Sounds good.
It might be one of those things where there aren't companies out there really that's. And the only other thing I have is, for those who didn't like the orange and camo hats, we have a new addition the police department is selling. They're black and camo, same price. So I thought I'd put my plug in for them, because they're fundraising for the police department, so they don't have to have new paid tax dollars.
They have lights.
Do they have lights? No.
That's an idea. The next round. Next round.
Stay tuned. And that's it.
All right, great. Sal.
At this time, nothing.
All right. Thank you. The only thing I have is two quick things, both on the agenda. The first is there's a motion to have us send a letter for the removal of the Warren, Glen, and Hughesville Dam. I just would like to ask council to approve this. I think we've seen this show great benefit to the dams they've already removed. And if we can continue, supporting the process along the Musconetcong, I think it will only be better for that river. And I think that they have done such a tremendous job that they are in good light with a lot of the federal agencies and receiving grant money. So I just hope that we can continue supporting their efforts so that this process moves along a lot quicker now.
I had a question there. I think I saw that letter, and the letter said they'd like us to have a letter by the end of the month. And I'm just kind of requesting a chance to run this by the Historic Commission, because I remember when Babinski was on here, he felt very strongly against this.
Yeah.
And there was I've heard some people on the Historic Commission were against this, but but I've also heard that others who were against it are now for it. So,
I was going to say there were people on the Historic Commission, Preservation Commission, who actually came to the one ceremony over on Musconetcong where the dam was taken out and so forth.
When's the next historic meeting?
it's the Wednesday, the 23rd, I think.
We have the council meeting on Thursday. So why don't we we'll draft a letter, we'll have it done, we'll talk to the historic about it, then we'll vote, okay. We'll hold, okay. That's good.
But they did a presentation.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, but we'll wait for them to,
It's going to help the people in Warren Glen. It's going to drop the water level about 5 feet.
yeah, no,
I think a lot of the fears that they had before they took out the last dam didn't materialize. So I'm not saying they're going to object. I just like to give them the opportunity to have input.
Yeah.
The primary concern in the last time was people's
the
wells.
wells water,
Right.
which
And that never happened.
that didn't, happen at all. So I think they kind of put that to bed. But I think there are people who do, they are historic structures and people do have an interest in them. So I think that's a fair point by Frank to at least give them an opportunity to speak on it. So we can do that, especially since we have that meeting on a Thursday. That works out well.
I made the point that it's more historic without them because
Before the human contact, that's true.
I would like them.
The second thing I have is probably about a year ago, this was brought to our attention about the bill that was floating around the assembly that would require new home ownership to install sprinkler systems in new construction and potentially even new home ownership in New Jersey. And the bill passed the assembly, I think it was like 44 to 38 or so, it was close, and it just passed the Senate Public Safety Committee last week. And what this is going to do is it's going to force our construction official to go out and inspect for another thing, charge for another thing to make sure that every house has a sprinkler system. And I mean, this is
When was the last time you had a new house built in Cohasset County?
that is a fair point.
On my street.
Yeah, I was going to say it was up by us, right, Mary?
Yeah.
Right?
So, I mean,
To be honest with you, I was always under the impression that you really couldn't have sprinkler systems unless you had public water, because usually there's not enough water pressure. So it might be, because we went through this with Chief Sickles a while back, because he was actually in favor of this, if you recall.
Pushing for it.
And it's not in the BOCA code.
Well, I think they're amending
Trying to
the
amend
law so that you're going to,
well, my point was that we're having trouble inducing people to build new houses. Why would we put another roadblock in the way?
That's no roadblock. If you would read the paper, there's a lot of fires in Philadelphia and the surrounding communities on both sides of the Delaware. I think it's a great thing because I don't want to buy a ladder truck. We're going to be forced to buy a ladder truck, and they're going to be over $1 million.
but I think you're exactly right though, Sal. This well, I don't think you're meaning to say this, but the bill, they're trying to legislate after tragedies to try to one size fit all everything, and I don't think this is necessarily the right thing for Pohatcong Township, this law, so that's where that comes from. So I think a lot of, the league, I was waiting to hear back from the league to see if they had officially issued a statement on it, but I imagine most municipalities are not going to be in favor of this. It's just another thing that we have to enforce and then charge for.
Especially rural municipalities.
Yeah,
Some
it
of the
doesn't
bigger
make
cities,
sense.
rural doesn't make sense.
So I'm just asking that council would support that resolution.
Does it have anything within this law specifying about the type of water system that would be needed for it?
I'm curious about it. I'll look at it. Have you guys seen the law?
I've seen it. I don't remember seeing anything specific about that, but I'm sure they'll amend it to include whatever they, want it to be. So,
Clinton just had a bad fire at that one development. Would they lose 30 homes? I feel
I just
we
know,
should
yeah.
talk to the fire chief and see what he says.
well, you can vote how you feel about it, but
I know the fire department is in favor
Yeah.
of doing homes, but new construction versus, other people doing grandfathered in. As far
Right.
as our construction official having to go out and do inspections, that's what he's paid for. I mean.
yeah, but you're charging essentially people to have them go out for something else.
We have the right to establish whether we want to charge for a particular permit. So that should be a non-issue because we have control over that. His going out to inspect, like I said, that's what he's here for, that's what he paid for. And any fees that he does bring in helps to pay for the cost of his project. And right now, he's not bringing in enough money.
All right. All right. So we will move on to, let's see here. We on resolutions.
Yeah.
Yes.
The first one, take that off because when our old CFO used to do a temporary debt service resolution, Elaine has incorporated that into the current temporary budget. So we don't need that first one.
Okay. And actually, I don't think the resolution posing that bill is on the agenda.
Yes, it is.
It's in the motion.
What agenda do I
It's the
have?
last one.
Last item.
No, opposed.
Last item was the resolution. so-
I have a different agenda.
Take mine, I got that.
Sorry.
Take all but the last one.
Okay, so do we want to take them all but the last one?
Since we're taking the temporary, okay, but the temporary budget for the sewer and the current fund, that's okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so a motion for all except the last one?
I would move that.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, Becker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Van Loo? D'Angelo?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes. All right, the last one. I have a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Becker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Van Loo? No. D'Angelo?
No, I am in favor of the sprinkler
So you're
system.
voting
Okay. And
No.
you vote no. And Mayor?
Yes. Okay. Ordinances. Does anyone mind taking these separately?
Shouldn't that
We
first
have
one
to
be,
take them separately because.
Oh, they do have to be.
shouldn't that be calendar year 2014 and ordinance 1401,
Yeah, good catch.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. So, okay,
That's pro forma.
okay. So is there a motion for 14-01?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, and Becker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Warner? Yes. Angelic?
Why are we exceeding the budget appropriation?
We have, this is a statutorily, like, we have to pass this ordinance, correct? This is to set up the cap.
Well, it's discretionary, you don't have to. You
don't have to,
But it's a flexibility issue, so every municipality always does it every year. So that doesn't mean you have to exceed expenditures whatsoever, it just gives flexibility in budgeting. So I've never seen any township not do it. Lorraine could give you a little better explanation.
It's usually the 2% overrides this anyway.
Yeah.
It just gives us flexibility in case we need it. Well, hopefully we won't need it. We'll never need it. But it doesn't cost you anything for the flexibility, and it gives you flexibility.
Yeah.
Is the way I understand
way
it.
to-
And frankly, I mean, I've never heard a good explanation of it yet, and I'm not going to try.
Oh, that was
I
good.
mean,
That was good.
Okay, then, all right, so then we will be scheduling this for our second meeting, which will.
I don't know if Sal didn't vote.
Now voting,
Now,
oh, sorry.
could we possibly use some of this money to pay off this building? So we can
No.
get
Sal, this is
contracts.
this is,
Here, what it is every year, your budget, your total budget, Sal, is capped. It can only go up by a certain percentage, okay? Lorraine, step in here if I'm not explaining this correctly, but what all this does not set any particular appropriation level. What it does is it allows you, if you are, say, 1% this year under your maximum increase for your budget, you can bank that, and then if you get to a future year where you have to go above the statutory cap, you can add some additional percentages because you've saved them from prior years when you were under. Does that make sense? That's all it is. It's just, that's what the flexibility issue comes in. If you have a year with extraordinary expenses and your budget has to go increase more than what would be permitted by statute, you could reach into your cap bank, if you will, and have that flexibility to meet your bills. Is that a fair assessment, Lorraine, essentially of what it is?
The bank is only available for 2 years as well.
Right.
It's not like you're
It's a, yeah,
creating
it's a flow.
a non-ending flow. It just sets up kind of money in reserve so that if you do need to tap into it and exceed whatever you're allowed to for the succeeding year, that money is available that you could use some of that.
Well, and I think this year too, you definitely want to do it because they reduced the 2% cap that you could go to 0.5.
Yes.
So this year you definitely would want to.
It doesn't mean you have to spend it, and it doesn't authorize you to spend it. It just makes it available if in the future you should need it.
And it does, and that is a separate and distinct issue, Sal, from 2%, cap on certain expenditures that Governor Christie implemented. So
Don't have
that's a
no
different issue.
effect
No.
on this year's budget.
And, you still will budget according to the 2% threshold.
And this doesn't affect wages or anything?
No.
Okay.
No, this isn't setting any numbers.
So how do you vote?
Sal, yay or nay?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and we approve? Yes. And affirm.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so that'll be second reading at the Thursday meeting, January 23rd.
Okay. All right, ordinance 14-02. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, Becker?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Yes. Angelic?
This is for the tax settlement.
Oh, okay.
It's a post-personnel settlement.
Yes, we have to do it.
And Mayor?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Kern.
Yes. I think I just voted for you, Mary.
Okay, and that one, we're having the second reading and public hearing for adoption at the February 18th meeting.
Okay.
And again, that one has, I think, an extra advertising requirement because it's a bond ordinance.
Got it.
John does that for you.
Yep, got it.
Okay, motions. Do we mind taking these together? Does anyone have any issue?
Well, I thought we were going
Oh, you're
to,
gonna do-
Oh, yeah, let's
Do
table.
you want to table the first one?
Yeah, we'll table it. We'll draft it off the record and wait to hear from the historic. So motion about the for the funding for South Warren Municipal Alliance. That's the group that funds like the DARE program and the different groups that promote, healthy and wellness and,
You usually get a small check from them.
Yeah.
Right?
And
$5,000.
we have, the South Warren is everybody except Phillipsburg in Warren County, and we go in on it together. Phillipsburg, I think, has a separate group. The one in Phillipsburg I know is the one that was pursuing that training for like bars and liquor stores to have like all that training and stuff like that. Our people are much more.
That's fine.
So Mary Beth Ringo actually lives in Pohat, and she's in charge of it, and she does a great job. So is there a motion for that one? Okay, is there a second? Oh.
Okay, Becker,
yes,
Slack,
Yes.
Dan Luke, Angeli,
Yes.
Yes. I'll amend the agenda to have public comment before executive session. Is there any public comment? Yes, sir.
Jerry Kern. I'd like to say Happy New Year to the council and congratulate Dave and Mary.
Thank you, Gary.
And I'm happy that this council is against the Fire Act. We have nothing in this town stopping anyone from the single-family residents putting fire protection in their home. If they need it, they can do that. I don't think it should be another burden on a new home builder at any cost. They can do that if they want to. I think it should be their choice. I disagree a little bit with Mary about the more revenue from permits. You can keep increasing costs, but people eventually say no. It's a lot like the cigarette tax when they raised it in New Jersey. They doubled it, thinking they're going to double the revenue, and everybody went across the river, bought their cigarettes, and bought them online, and ended up with less than they had the first year. Eventually, people figure it out, and that's what's happened here. We have no homes coming here no more. The costs are ridiculous and too many regulations. And as far as the fire, Sal, that was a condo complex. And when you right, so that's not residential. When you put homes together like that, that brings up a whole nother issue. I may not be against something like that because you have people next to you that are right against you that could be doing something that you're unaware of, and you're in a situation, but you also know that going in. But there is codes that protect that, but that's something totally different than a residential home. The cost could be a lot for a residential home if you're not on a water supply in a town. If you have, maybe you need tanks to store water. I don't know. I think it would be crazy to push that on a residential owner, and I'm glad this council chose not to go along with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, do I have a motion for executive session to go over contractual and potential litigation should not last more than a half hour?
I'll make the motion.
Action may be taken, too.
okay, Becker,
yes.
Slack,
Yes.
Dan Luke, yes, Angeli,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes. 8:15. Yeah. Oh, check out these seats.
These are like $300 a piece.
Check out these things. Actually, hold on.
Yeah.
I was like 10 rows from the end zone.
Perfect.
It was a good game up until the
And it
end.
was actually pretty warm.
Yes, it was a beautiful day.
Next day.
I wouldn't have gone this week, yeah. All right, do I have a motion to come back from executive session? Is
I'll make that motion.
there a second? I'll second it.
All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
do I have a motion to adjourn?
Oh, wait a second. I just wanted to make one statement that Lorraine thought was important to be in the record, that a supplemental debt statement in conjunction with that bond ordinance was filed. I just want that on record.
Okay.
All right, I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You know, Lorraine can't work in that room. She's working with a big blanket around
I know,
her.
she has a space
And
here.
we've got to get this
You need
thing
help?